All right, well, greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I'm your host once again, Dan Thornton. I want to thank you all for joining us here today, Lions Talk Live, the Monday after the draft. And you know what? There's going to be people out there giving you grades. There's people out there going to say who won, who failed, who did everything in between. And here on Lions Talk Live, I'm not going to do that just because, really, honestly, we all know it. You're not going to know if a draft was good or bad for probably a season, maybe two. You could even say three in some instances. Look back to just this past season. Everybody probably would have said Iffy Melifonwu was a bust. He was going into the year three, and heck, halfway through the season, everybody, didn't really know anything about him other than he couldn't stay healthy. And then year three happened. The second half of the season happened. Tracy Walker's benched. Iffy Melifonwu's put in. And what do you know? Now we're all talking about Iffy as if he's an invaluable piece to this team, which he may indeed be. So I think we all get it. We're going to talk about a couple potential steals, in my opinion, the Lions got out of the undrafted free agent market. So post-draft, hey, they picked a couple guys up, and what do you know? Maybe, just maybe, they did something good here. I think they may have indeed, and you know what? We're going to start all that off in just a moment. But as you guys know, there's a couple things we got to do. Got to get out of the way. As we talked about a few days ago, a longtime Lions Talk Live member, Trey Tipton, his family's house, caught on fire, burnt down. Apparently, they've lost everything, clothing, et cetera, everything other than their car. So trying to do a little bit of a fundraiser. Everything from the last two shows that we've done, or last 2 days of shows, plus today's show, we'll go to them. So if you got it in your heart to be able to donate $5, $2, whatever you got, go ahead, and everything I receive, like I said, for a 3-day period, that's just going to go to him and his family, try to help them out. So tough times for them. And those who have contributed or donated, thank you very much for them. I'm sure his family is going to be appreciative. Also, if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. Making a push to get to 6,600 subs. So we're about 40 subs away. So if you haven't yet subscribed, and you're watching and enjoy the videos, please consider doing so. Next, if you enjoy the videos, hit the thumbs up button. You guys all know it helps the channel get videos out to new people who haven't discovered Lions Talk Live. So hopefully you're able to help out if you would be so kind. Last but never least, just because I'm a working individual and enjoy working all over the place in Michigan, if you're considering buying or selling property anywhere in Michigan, give me a call, shoot me a text, see the number on the screen, 269-998-2384. You can reach on out to me, see if I can use 30 years of the industry to try to help you out along with your ideas of purchasing property or selling property anywhere in the state of Michigan. If you're outside of Michigan, you still contact me, and I can try to help you out as best I can. All right, welcome to Lions Talk Live. We're going to go ahead and get this going. Probably going to be about a 45-minute show or so today, just because I got to take off just a little early to get back for work before the opening bell. Big week for the stock market today, so going to be working and shaking on that as best I can. And I see some of you guys. Brent, thank you so much. JP, thanks for that. Yeah, every little bit helps, man. I mean, think about it. When you're living, I guess. To be fair, I don't know how. I've asked them how they are doing, but I'm assuming out of a hotel or maybe friend or family's house, anything you get, maybe there's some McDonald's for the morning or whatever for them to help them out. Maybe a delicious Mountain Dew. I know I sent them a few things to try to help them out, a couple different gift cards and stuff like that, just to try to help. But hey, I'll make sure they get this, guys, and thank you so much. All right, getting back to this. All right, so as you guys can see from the thumbnail, just talking about the Lions here, I thought when I went in and reviewed their undrafted free agents, I thought they did some good stuff here. I thought they really found some guys that, it's going to be a long shot for any undrafted player to make it. So I'm looking for specific things. I sat down after the show with Mark Orem last night and wanted to try to get a little bit more information on the undrafted guys. I wanted to try to watch some video on them. And I'm going to leave it up to you guys, but I think you can see some correlations between some of the draft picks and what they did with the undrafted free agents. So we'll get your info, but let's start off with Isaiah Williams. So to me, he reminds me a lot of Sonny Vaki, the running back / safety that we brought on in. And why is that? So he played quarterback for Illinois for 2 years, and then he became a wide receiver. Watching his route running, you can see I would say it's not ideal. I mean, once I looked into it more and more and understood that, hey, he's really only played the wide receiver position for a limited amount of time, it made sense. So what I did is I wanted to go back to the start of last season, the middle of the season, and then the end of the season, see how much he progressed. And it's noticeable how much he improved. Now, his speed isn't ideal. I want to say like 4.6. He's about 5'10", but as we've talked about on this show, you guys probably have talked about it with other people, 40 times can be sometimes deceptive, especially when you're talking about a slot receiver, somebody who's relying on a little bit different skill set than just straight line speed. So then you do a deeper dive on his cone drills and watch him get in and out of breaks, his cuts. And I thought there was a huge difference when I looked at the start of the season to the end of the season. Clear progression. He also gets in and out of those cuts fairly fast. He showed some strength as far as the ability to take on would-be tacklers and go through them. So in the nutshell, I think the Lions might have got somebody here. Now, the Lions further, corroborated my initial impact or thoughts on him when you look at the size of the contract that they gave for an undrafted free agent. It's the max contract they could. So this tells me the Lions are anticipating he may actually make the roster. In fact, one could bank and say they think he will make the roster. We're all wondering or thinking that they should have got a wide receiver, at least at some level in this particular draft. It looks like they may have got someone, and they may have had at least high hopes to go out there and address the wide receiver position, in the post-draft or the undrafted free agents. And I think they did that with Isaiah Williams. If you guys want to go check out some video on him, I would encourage you to do so. But again, I can only tell you what I did. I watched his progression over time and the fact that he can play multiple spots. Could it be he could be an emergency quarterback or quarterback 4? I don't think he'd be a quarterback 3, but the situation never arose. Could he fill in there? Could he also play some level of help on the scout team? Somebody who's very mobile, somebody who can throw it, who can get in and out of the pocket a little bit, extend plays with his legs. So I think there's some value there as well. So you're starting to see a growth on the team with some of the people they're adding that play multiple spots and have different roles. So just like with Baki, I think he's going to be able to help out on special teams. I think he is going to play safety for us. The more I watch some of his tape, he will be a running back as well. But again, you're getting guys who are multiple layered that free up roster spots for other guys who need to fit more specific needs. So let me know your guys' thoughts on that. The last one, he's raw. He's real raw, I would say. But stop me when you heard this before. He's somebody who plays multiple positions. Steel Chambers was a running back who converted to linebacker. And you know what? I like the kid. I think, man, you guys heard me talk about it before that I thought Tracy Walker would be best suited if he could switch to weak side linebacker, if he could bulk up like 10, 15 more pounds. Steel Chambers, I don't know if he's going to want to bulk up 10, 15 pounds. I could see maybe like 5 pounds or so, but he runs right around a 4.5. And I get his combine time was, I want to say it was 4.58, I mean, something like that at least. But I also found evidence that he ran it closer to 4.5 at the Ohio State Pro Day, etc. He tackles well. He hits well. And what do you expect out of somebody who's also a running back? He runs through people. So, again, another guy who played multiple positions, probably is going to be a gunner on special teams or maybe an interior guy. And with some of the changes for the kickoff rules, I think the Lions are trying to be proactive and address some of the spots there so they're not constantly giving up big yards. It's my anticipation, Chambers, I think he could really end up becoming a situational player on defense in time, and maybe, who knows, maybe some pass rush abilities. He's got the speed, he's got the positions, he's got the cone drills, the 3-step. I'm not going to say he's great at any of those things, but he's not bad at any of those things. He's also somebody, like I said, who is converted from running back to linebacker to pass rusher. So again, somebody who's multiple layered, can do different things, and in my anticipation, he's going to free up a roster spot if he makes the 53-man roster. With Williams, I think you got to earn it. I can't say, hey, just because they gave you a contract or whatever else that you're going to make it. But I do think Williams does real good at yards after the catch. You watch him, especially on in-out routes, he breaks pretty hard to the ball. I mean, needs more development, but you can also say that with Manu and a couple other people from this draft. The Lions seem to have targeted guys they see lots of specific details with, and they say, hey, our coaching staff can help coach them up, teach them up, whatever you want to say. And I agree with that. Players like this, late round picks, they don't have to be polished. You're looking for the stuff, in my opinion, as a coach, that I can't teach. So Manu's size and physicality, Christian Mahogany's, raw strength in the upper body. Needs some more work, down low, especially at the midsection of the core, but you can coach that stuff up. Williams, like I said, a lot of his route running techniques are raw. They're not polished. You can tell he's still having to process things, but given time, I think you've got something there. Steel Chambers, I mean, the dude hits. We talk about Vaki wanting to go downhill as a running back and just slam through people, same as a safety or, someone on special teams. And Steel Chambers fits that to a T. So in my opinion, when I watch these guys, especially those two, and I watch a lot of them on the team, and I know the kicker from Michigan and everything. My only real question with the kicker was leg strength. And I get maybe they just never ever use them on longer field goals. I did see some pre-game warm-ups of him kicking some bombs, but I'd also like to see him do it in a game situation where there's some pressure on. So wait and see what happens. Let's get your guys' thoughts on these three. But I get everybody's going to give you grades today, whether you're watching, whatever radio station or TV station or YouTube channel. So I want to go a little bit outside of the box, try to find some other stuff and give you guys some information. I spent, probably I'd say, half hour, 45 minutes on each of these guys. I went through a lot of everybody for like 10, 15 minutes, trying to find just something that, pops off the paper, something that jumps out at me when I would watch some highlights of them, whatever. And I just didn't find a lot of them. But when I came across these two, I found enough to get intrigued to watch another 10, 20, 30 minutes of stuff. So I think there's some potential for both these guys. Write them down. They could be steals of the post-draft. I probably should have done a better headline with that, but you guys get it. All right, let's head over to the comments section, see what your guys' thoughts are. And again, anybody who's made a donation, I saw there was another one that came in for the family whose house burnt down, Trey Tripton. Again, thanks. So trying to just do everything we can to help them out. All right, Moonscar, good morning, Coach, and all of the Dew crew, 100%, exclamation point, back at you, buddy. Thanks for all your help to the channel. Bo, what do you got? Good morning, Dew crew, Superdome or bust, 100%, and hopefully you have an outstanding morning, my friend. Precision drafting. I'd say that's fair to say. I think there's realistic expectation that Arnold's probably going to come in and play. And I'm not going to say he's going to be a DB1, DB2. Let somebody else debate that stuff. Me as a coach, hey, you got to go out there and earn it. So he gets to the preseason. He gets through training camp, OTAs, mini camp, all that jazz. Let him start the process towards earning a starting spot or snaps. We all get he's going to make the roster. I would say probably everybody drafted this year in the actual draft. I think they're all going to make the roster at some level. I don't think you're exposing any of them to the practice squad. I just think they'll get gobbled up. But with that being said, I think Arnold and Rakestraw, they're probably going to be out there and they're going to be contributing sooner versus later. All right, Moonscar, do tell, exclamation point. How did we do with undrafted free agent signings? I would love to see more kickers brought in. U of M kicker with a career long of 50, not inspiring. No. And again, I tried to find video where I could, and let me tell you, there ain't much out there, but I found some of him in warm-ups, and he did a pretty good job with stuff. But again, to me, it's like watching somebody shoot free throws or threes before the game. A lot of people can do it without somebody in their face, without that shot clock running down. And I kind of put that in the same boat with just pressure situations, especially for a kicker. where it's not like you can just do it without thinking, because everybody's trying to set you up for failure there. You've got the pre-game, or excuse me, the pre-snap reads and everything. It's nothing live and fluid like, running out of the pocket and throwing a pass or something like that. You've got to really think and process what's going on, and that's why. And maybe he's great, maybe he's not. I don't have enough info to be able to tell you. Hat morning, Hat man, what do you got? Good morning, Coach and Duke crew. Woo! 100% with that, and good morning to you too, my friend. Hopefully, having a great one. And there's a big woo for you. All right, Lions fan number one. Good morning, Duke crew! Exclamation point. Let's see what else, if anything, they do to improve this team. I just have to think it's going to be a very competitive training camp. I'm with you 100% on that, Lions fan. You just look at every spot on this team. I mean, is there really a weakness? Is there really something where you're like, man, there's just not a lot of depth there? Man, I don't know about this spot. We could all debate. Maybe there's a few spots here and there that aren't as deep as others. Cornerback's not one of them. I think our cornerback group is as deep as any team in the league. Linebacker, maybe a little light. You could maybe say defensive end a little light. I no longer have that opinion about the offensive line. The more I watch the guys we brought in, either in free agency or with the draft, I think our offensive line is pretty dang deep. Our running back group's pretty dang deep. Wide receiver, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's fair. I'm not going to say it's over the top great, but I think if with Williams, Donovan Peoples-Jones, Green from last year's draft, I think it's fair to say it's not weak. But hey, whatever you want to say, I believe this is going to be one of the best off seasons as far as preseason training camp and all that stuff that we're going to see. And I know I'm actually looking forward to watching all the preseason games. Why? I want to see Hendon Hooker. I want to see some of these younger dudes. I want to see how this all shakes out. All right, Dennis, what do you got? Good morning, fam and Dan, and thanks for that. Hopefully I'm a great one, Dennis. Steve Rogers, greetings and salutations all. I like the Chambers kid. One hell of a name for a football player, Steel Chambers. Yeah, and yeah, it is a name. And hey, I almost expect to see that name in Vegas or something like that. But heck of a name, and I think he's got some real good upside. So pay attention to him. You guys do your homework. Let me know what your thoughts. I've given you mine. All right, Mike the Marine Gunny. Howdy, Dan, Lions faithful. Let the competition begin next month. Injury free. Woo! 100%. You got to go out there and earn it. You got to go out there and develop. Hey, nobody wants injury on anybody, so let's just hope they all go out there and do just a great job, develop them up, and hey, hopefully the medical staff can just sit over there and play cards or whatever because they got nothing else to do. Maybe we'll get a euchre tournament going. All right, Jesse, what do you got? Good morning, Duke drinking crew. Love the coin in the photo with Brad Holmes' face all over it. Nice artwork, Coach. Yeah, I can't take credit for it. I saw it on, man, where did I see it? I don't know, one of the news stories from the weekend or something like that. And I was getting ready for another story, another video. Saw it. I was like, man, that's pretty dope. So I clipped it out, and hey, I'll probably use it from time to time. But if you don't know what Jess is talking about, just go back to the thumbnail or whatever, and you can check it out. But yeah, somebody did a pretty good job getting ready for this weekend's draft and had that. And nice job. All right, Bo, the wide receiver is interesting, but I'm leaning towards linebacker. Best nickname coming, yeah. I was with you on that one. What you're going to call him, I don't know as far as a nickname, but the dude's got some speed. He's got some wheels, and he hits. Check out his hits as a linebacker. Check him out as a running back. It seems like the Lions, again, using him as an example, Vaki as an example, and Williams as an example, everybody they're bringing in seems to cover multiple spots. You look at even Manu and Mahogany. They can play multiple spots. Manu played tackle, guard, both tackles and both guards. Mahogany, kind of same thing, both guards. I don't know if he ever played center, although I guess it's possible. Maybe even right tackle. So I'll have to check onto that one a little bit more. Stephanie, what do you got? Good morning, boys. BRB. Be right back. Have to get my girl to the bus. Fair enough. Had to read the rest of it, then it clicked. Sorry about that. Man, I see Bates had a bad game this weekend. Did he? That I didn't see. I didn't have time really to pay attention to the Panthers, but it was bound to happen at some point. So maybe the good part is maybe it pushes his asking price down a bit. All right, Bo. Oh my gosh, Bates is human. It happens. Maybe the radioactive spider bite wore off. Who knows? France, what do you got? Good evening, all. How is everyone feeling about our draft? I'm liking it, and I think I've done a few videos basically talking about what I thought of it. I love the fact that virtually every position they brought in, if you look at the current roster, you've got a bunch of guys at that spot who are good players, who are veteran players, who can still play, but they're on expiring one-year deals. So, to me, you're bringing in guys that can sit, grow, develop, be coached up a year, and then slide into probably more impactful roles on the team. Maybe some of them supersede expectation. Maybe they get up there faster, but that's my guess at least. Bo, how many salmon guys do we have now? Samoan guys, excuse me. Do we have now? That I don't know. Somebody would have to do a deep dive on that. All right, Gary, good morning, Do Crew. Good morning to you too. Hopefully having a great one. Mike the Marine, do your part. Make your comment, jump off the chat, and give thumbs up, and jump back on for Dan Thornton. Woo! Thanks, Gunny, for that. Yeah, if you guys can, hit the thumbs up button. It helps out a ton. If you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. Gary, let Manu run the rock. Yeah. That would be something, wouldn't it? If they used him like the fridge William Perry back in the day and just let him fall forward, man, at 6'8" or whatever, and 350 pounds. I'm guessing there aren't a lot of safeties or cornerbacks that are going to be eager to tackle him. Bo, done Gunny. There you go. And woo! There you go. There you go. And thank you for that, Bo. Jason, greetings, salutations all. Here to a short up secondary. Here's to a short up secondary. The Iron Dome of Destiny, the no-fly zone of destiny, the destiny of truth, the secondary of nope. I don't know. You got a lot of different ways we're going to be able to go with this, and I think you're right, man. I think this secondary is going to be pretty fun to watch. I've told you guys my thoughts of what they're going to do. Go Blitzburg. I can't wait to see it, man. I think it's going to be fun. All right, Ed, good morning, Coach and Do Crew. What are your thoughts on Brad Holmes' undrafted free agent signings coach? I give you my thoughts there, Ed, as far as in my anticipation, the two best players on there, the two that probably have the best chance to make the roster. Maybe the kicker does, maybe somebody else does. Again, I'm a little limited on what I could find on them all, at least without spending a week doing so. But in the time I watched, I thought Williams jumped off the page. I thought Steel Chambers jumped off the page. And again, they're both raw. I'm guessing kind of like everybody we brought in. But with that being said, I think these guys both have a lot of upside and they can play multiple spots. Jason, let's see, Superdome or bust, 100% with that. And exclamation point, I agree. Everything we're going to do this year is to get to that Superdome and get the Super Bowl. All right, Michael, greetings, salutations, Coach, Do Crew, one pride, 100%, and good morning, Michael. Bo, everybody fights, exclamation point. Brand as Johnny Rico, there you go. Yeah, I'm guessing you're talking about Tombstone. There you go. One of my favorite movies ever. And Just Say K, good morning. Anyone know how the Bates kid did this weekend? I don't know the stats. It sounds like he didn't have a great weekend, so hopefully somebody can maybe put it in the comment section or something. Quentin, greetings, salutations, y'all. I'm thinking what we brought into the team more and more as I'm liking what we brought into the team more and more as I read them. Yeah, there's some definite diamonds in my opinion there with the team. So the problem I think any undrafted free agent is going to face here, unless they just are just going to blow you out of the water, is the fact that this team is so deep. To make the 53-man roster is going to be a real challenge for a lot of veteran players who have some real potentials still within them. Now, an undrafted player with no real commitment, I just think, man, it's going to be tough. But if you have self-belief, which most athletes do, if you have some confidence, then you're going to say, you know what, I got this. And there are a couple of spots in this team where you probably have better chances than others. I wish them all luck, but for somebody to win, somebody else has got to lose, and that's going to be the tough part when we have to trim down to 53. Taylor, what do you got? Greetings, salutations, Do Crew, back at you. Thomas Taylor, what do you got? Coach, Did you watch the interview with Manu where he said the Lions wanted to try him on the right side next to Sewell, possible Zettler replacement? Man, could you imagine that? So let's Scooby-Doo this. You put him over at the right guard next to Penei Sewell. Yeah, that's a side if when he gets developed, you're probably blasting people. And maybe, I know I've speculated moving Penei to left tackle, but maybe the Lions have other plans, is your point out there, Taylor. Maybe they're just saying, now we're going to put him at guard, and we are going to roast you. We are going to be able to pound that ball. Hey, if it works, it works. I've got no problem with it, man. I've got no problem with it whatsoever. Could it be they almost use him like they did Skipper last year, where he just becomes a 6th or 7th offensive lineman out there, just powering through people and certain packages and groups? Could he be a tackle eligible? You could be able to throw it up to some places most other people can't go and get. All right, Thomas, what do you got? Roll Pride, 100%, and woo! There you go. That's a better woo. All right, Hatman. The little I've seen so far, I think a couple of the undrafted free agents, maybe possibly some good projects. The Illinois receiver could make the 53-man roster, and possibly the center. Yeah, I couldn't find enough where I jumped in on some of the offensive linemen with sound opinions, but I'm with you. I think Isaiah Williams has a shot at the 53-man. So we'll wait and see. Hookadoo. Woo! Morning, Dan and Do Crew Nation, 100%, and hope you have an outstanding morning, my friend. Brent, good morning, everyone. If you would have told me we were going to double down on cornerback, I'd have said, no way, exclamation point. I want a defense and offensive line, so I'm happy. Woo! 100%. They got it, just probably not the way most of us anticipated. They got some offensive linemen. I think guys with real promise, real upside, real coachability. The secondary is going to be much improved. We all believe, I think, this upcoming year. So I'm with you there, man. I think it's going to be fun, Brent. And good morning, by the way. Bo, precious do. There we go. I'll go with that, Boo. Bo, see, Brent, LOL. Fair enough. Brent, are today's super chats going to help out Dre? I would think so, yeah. And I see there's a couple others that came in. And so when I get down to them, I'll put them out on the screen. Don't worry, guys. I'll get to them. Hey, I'll put it this way. When you've lost everything, anything you can get is going to be better than where you're currently at. So I've done my donations. Like I said, I'm donating anything I make off YouTube from today's, yesterday, and the day prior's videos. There's been some other people who have PayPal'd some donations and done them in the show. So in a nutshell, everything's going to him and his family. Just is it going to get you back everything? No. Is it going to help out? Hopefully it helps out exponentially. All right, Big Eddie. Woo! That's a big one. So there you go. And good morning. Good morning, Duke Crew. In Holmes, I trust. You have to, man. He's done us no wrong so far. Ed, good morning, everyone. Good morning to you, Ed. Clark Griswold, who's ready for July training camp to hurry up and get here? Me. All right, fair enough. Yeah, I think everybody watching this is ready for the next wave of the season. Bo, when's the first OTA? I want to say in about 3 or 4 weeks, something like that. Ed, in May. Yeah, about that. Yeah, 3 or 4 weeks. Thomas, rookie mini camp in May. There you go. Moonscar, what got? Clark, what flavor of jelly did you get this month? The Jelly of the Month Club, yes. Ed, we get the schedule next week, Thursday as well. Yeah, that's true. It's coming right up. And that's what I want to see. I want to see how things are going to play out. I want to see what the NFL has to say about who they think are going to be in contention for the NFC North. Because let's be very upfront and honest. The NFL is just like Vegas. They've got pretty good ideas on things. So whoever we're ending the year with in the NFC North, that's probably an indication what the league thinks the race is going to come down to. So wait and see. Bo, what do you got? May Day. There we go. Let's get this party started. I'll go with that. All right, Clark, Moonscar Blade, laugh out loud. Fair enough. Ed, hey, Bo, what up? Let's see. Hookadoo, I got that Moonscar. Yeah, the Jelly of the Month Club. There you go. Moonscar laughing. All right. Bo, greetings, Al Bundy. There. All right. Ed, there's a realistic chance that comes week 18, we can have 2 quarterback number ones running around and teams won't want to play us. Let's chat about that real quick. I think Carlton Davis, I think he's a pretty decent corner. and he's on a prove-it year. So does he have motivation to really play to the best of his abilities? 100%. We all get Arnold wants to be a Hall of Famer. He wants to be the dude. So I think he's going to come out and do everything he can to speed up his learning curve and be up there. I'll say this with Rakestraw. You watch him play, and there were games, if you watch certain teams, they tested him early and then avoided him the rest of the game. So his man-to-man coverage skills are pretty good. I like Arnold's better, but it doesn't mean, Rakestraws aren't good by any means. I get when some people said when they saw him drafted by the Lions, his body language wasn't the greatest. Then we find out later on in the day, or maybe it was the next day, when he talks and dresses it, he was upset. He was pissed off. He thought there were some other guys drafted that he was saying to himself, man, I'm better than those dudes. I should be up there already. It should have been my name called out. So he's got a chip on his shoulder. And I get it, man. If anybody who's watched the draft for a while, you see somebody slip and fall down, especially when it comes to a quarterback. I mean, we can all remember a number of guys in the green room waiting for their name to be called out, and they're sitting there for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, maybe a day longer than they anticipated. And that just grinds on them because you can see every time that camera turns to you and man, they're talking about me again. They're talking about me again. Your friends and family have all come out. They're sitting there watching, and they start feeling the pressure, the anxiety of the fact that you're slipping and falling. And now that adds on to him more. Hey, man, I think this with Rakestraw, I think he's going to come out and he's going to take it out on some people this year, and maybe like St. Brown the rest of his career. So, Ed, I'm with you. I think there's real potential. By the time we hit the postseason next year, this secondary could just be off the charts good. It could be the total no-fly zone, the Terror Dome, every other moniker that we've thrown out there. I think this defense is going to be super fun. And if we really are Blitzburg all day long, man, I think there's going to be so many jump balls up there for some of these guys to run under and pick off or jump the route and cut off. I'm all for it because I hate passive defense. I hate passive offense. Probably I'm too aggressive as a coach. Same with my personality when I watch sports. I just think, man, this is going to be one of the most fun defenses we've watched in Detroit in a long time. Ed, we can finally say that we will have a defense next year. Yeah, we will, and we're coming after them. Brent, 2 good quarterbacks locked up for years. Brad's a master chef for sure. Woo! 100%. I agree with that. Ed, no more excuses for AG as well. Yeah, and he's going to have some legit pressure on him this year. We can all say he hasn't had a ton to work with in the past. This year, hey, he's probably going to have to produce, but I've got faith in him. I think he's going to do well. Bo, we still need a moniker for the secondary. Air traffic control crew, ensuring the no-fly zone, ! Iron Dome of destruction, any which way you can. Hey, I'll let you guys debate it and come up with it. It sounds like a T-shirt in the waiting. Ed, I hope the NFL gives us our more important games towards the middle of the year. I believe our secondary will need time to gel. Yeah, and one advantage, I know we've talked about this before on the show, one advantage I believe we're going to have over most teams is the fact that we don't have any real change in the coaching staff. And we haven't lost many players this season either. I want to say like 3 players. That may end up being more when cuts happen and such. But the vast majority of these guys already know the terms, the expectations, the plays, the negotiation parts of all the different formations. So early in the season, I think we've got a huge benefit over most of the teams, especially if we face teams that with new coaches, new systems on offense or defense. Yeah, that first couple of weeks of the season, we could have a massive advantage. So I agree. Manberg, where's Peg? That I don't know. Brent, agreed. Ed, time for AG to put up or shut up. Well, there we go. JP, woo! Brad's home cooking. There you go. Phil, good morning too. Good morning too, Phil. JDC, morning all. Morning to you. Hatman, Dan, I have to say that you have done a great job of breaking down our draft picks this year. So thank you. Hey, no worries, man. I enjoy it. You have opened my eyes to a couple players I had questions on. Hey, every once in a while I get something right, so I'll try not to let it go to my head though. Phil, Jen, yes, this is her last day away. She'll be back tomorrow. All right, Ed, what are the chances you think that either one of the rookies beats out Davis for cornerback number 1 during training camp? During training camp, I think that's going to be tough just because, Davis is not a slouch by any means. He's a pretty good corner. And we don't have to do a deep dive on him. But the other thing he has is he's had, X amount of years against NFL players. And I do believe, we've talked about it before, I think most of us get it, cornerback's one of the hardest positions to learn in the NFL. And the receivers are so vastly superior to what you're typically going to face in college. I think we should have reasonable expectations that the rookie corners are going to take some time to grow into the roles. Now, maybe they're both Sauce Gardner, or man, I just don't need that time. I'm already there. But I'm going to say probably Davis is your cornerback number one, I'm guessing, throughout most, if not all, this season. But that doesn't mean those two young guys can't be outstanding. If somebody beats them out to become CB1, then great. They're playing far better early in their career than we should honestly have expectations for. Ken, good morning, Coach and Duke crew, exclamation point, great draft, exclamation point. Can't wait for the games to begin, Super Bowl or bust. Good morning, Ken. I agree with everything you just said, man. Patrick, good morning, all. I am stoked about our defense this year. Yeah, we probably need to do a video just talking about the defense and how you're going to move everything around, what are you thinking? I did some work on that a little bit, and you guys have heard me talk about it. I am thinking James Houston's going to be starting next to DJ Reader. I also got to thinking and look at some stuff, and I wanted to do a little bit of a deeper dive. I think Jack Campbell might be more of a blitzing linebacker this year. I know they messed with it some last year, something he wasn't horribly polished at, but I think there could be some evidence in certain situations. He could be unloading on people. We'll see. Rocky, good morning, all. Good morning to you too. Bo, heading towards an 18th game schedule. How big will the roster become? If they move to 18, what I hope they do is I hope there's 2 or 3 bye weeks mixed throughout the season. Just because you need to give somebody some rest. Will they add or increase the 53-man roster to 56 or 57 or whatever number they come up with? That I don't know. But if they're going to do that, I would really hope they give multiple bye weeks, hopefully 3 bye weeks off. All right, mile marker. Good morning, crew. Let's help trade. Yeah, anybody who's done it, thank you. And I get there's still a couple I've got to get to, but as I get through the comment section, those will pop up. So, un momento, por favor. All right, Moonscar. All pre-live comments still here after launching the show. Must be YouTube only keeps the last 100. Yeah, I noticed that last week when I posted some of the thumbnails a little bit earlier, so people had, I don't know, half hour, 40 minutes or something like that to comment. So there's probably some sort of cutoff that they do. So is what it is. Maybe I just got to try to wait more like 20 minutes before to post. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Barberline Lions. I also like the tight end, Zach Rex from BYU. Yeah, not bad at all. I think he's like a lot of the guys that they brought in. They're in a tough spot to make the roster. I liked what I saw. I just didn't see enough pop. But who knows, man? He can come in and just knock the cover off the ball and earn himself an NFL roster. You're always rooting for the underdog guys. It's just going to be tough because this team is just so deep everywhere. But good luck to all of them. Let's see, Matthew, what do you got? Greetings and salutations. Good morning, everyone. Super Bowl or bust. Woo! 100%. And yes, I concur with everything you just said. Good morning to you, Matthew. Mr. Nico, can AG coach this defense to help us win a Super Bowl? Question mark. If we fall short, do we move away from AG or stick it out with him? Also, if Ben Johnson moves on, who do you have replace him? So let's start with AG. He's going to be under pressure this year, without question. I think he's going to do well, but if he doesn't, he's like every other coach. You either produce or you get got. You're hired to be fired, and I will never forget that saying. Heard it at my first college coaching job, and it never left me. As far as Ben Johnson, it would be my anticipation that last year, maybe even last year, they would have had 1 or 2 people working under him with the idea of trying to absorb as much information, try to become like him. So when the position opened, you would have one of them slide in. That would also be fairly consistent with Dan Campbell's personality versus bringing in an unknown quantity or somebody from outside the family. I'm going to guess that they're going to go ahead and do that again this year, have those same 2 people if they're still here, work underneath them, and then select from one of them the following year. All right, Brent, I know I put this out there before, but thank you for that. Thank you for that very much. Same with you, JP. Thank you for that. Remember, all donations from the last 2 shows and anything sent over today, along with any revenues these videos make, will all be sent over to Trey. And I know there's a few more of you guys that have sent something over. I'm scrolling down. I'm getting there. Donkey Kong, Super Bowl or bust, 100%. And thanks for all you do, Donkey. Holmes nailed the draft as usual. Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, I think the more we as fans get used to how he drafts, last year after the draft, I think there were a lot of people kind of jumping up and down, shaking their fists or whatever, the angry guy yelling at a cloud. But now we see how that worked out. We see how other players have worked out over time. And yes, they're not always good to go their rookie season. I know I talked about at the start of the show, Ife Melifonwu. Let's be honest. Coming into last year, most people thought he was a bust or a non-impact player. If you go 3, 4, 5, 6 games in the season, probably the same thoughts. And then Tracy Walker gets pulled if he gets out there, and then 1 play happened. Then 2 plays happen. He got his opportunity, ran with it. It's my belief, even though I know Broderick Martin gets a lot of, people looking down because he didn't do much as a rookie. That doesn't mean that's where he's going to end up. I think him, Scoresdale, are probably going to end up being something. So you just got to give them time. Some people need a little bit more time to adjust the NFL than others. All right, Dog, I'm going to hit the like button. Yes, pretty pleased with Mountain Dew on top. If you're watching, hit that like button. Big D, what do you got? I don't know how many of you guys know about Vaki. I know him because I'm a USC guy. But let me tell you something. That cat can play ball. We nailed it with him and that late of a round. Yeah, so if you guys don't know, I'm a USC fan, and there was one game last year where apparently every one of their running backs was hurt. So Vaki, the safety, it was announced before the game he was going to play running back for them. And probably like every USC fan, you're like, man, all right, we got this game and everything. But the dude lit us up. He had like 4 or 5 carries, something like that, for like 70 yards. And he caught just as many passes for just shy of 200 yards. So, I knew all too well who he was. Ed, laugh out loud. Yeah, Donkey, yes. Ed, you are funny. Hey, every once in a while. Ken, hey, thanks for that. Thanks for Trey. There you go. Thank you very much. I'll make sure they get that. And AG has shown flashes to be able to coach this defense. Now that he has the talent, he can put it all together. Yeah, and you think about like last year, and again, we probably beat it to death, but in the playoffs, we gave up yards, but we made impact plays. Same in the NFC title game. The plays were there to be made. Unfortunately, we just didn't hold on to them. So maybe with a little bit better secondary or better defense, just overall, a little bit more development out of some of the younger guys, are there more opportunities to make those couple extra plays? If think about every game last season, we were in it, other than maybe the Baltimore game, but a couple plays here or there, 1 or 2 more takeaways, 1 or 2 more tip passes, you start making a huge impact on a game. All right, Ed, I don't know how he will find a way to get Davis, Iffy, Kirby, Branch, Amik, and Arnold all on the field, but he's got to get it done. Hey, let the players handle it. Who's playing best? And I know we talked about this show, and we'll talk about other shows. You want your snaps, you're going to have to come in and earn them. And you look at how deep that secondary is. I mean, you didn't even mention Emmanuel Mosley, and it's just you're going to have to really come in and work your butt off. And Vildor's in that. Oh, man, I forgot we were assigned him too, but you guys get it. You want to be in that secondary. You want to be out there. You can't just be a safety. You can't just be a cornerback. You've got to be a guy who can go out there and make plays, because I think they're just spreading you out. They're coming after you. It will be, like I've said before, it's going to be the closest thing to basketball and a full court press or half court trap you probably have seen in the NFL in some time. All right, Bo, rotation and lots of packages. I'll go with that. Yeah, 100%. Steve, he gets open. He gets open. Yes. Big D, he's better as a safety than wide receiver. Fair enough. Yeah. Oh, Vaki, there you go. Yeah. He can hit. He can lay it out there. Broski Bear, good morning, Dan. Everyone, good morning to you, Broski. Detroit Zoo, I'll freaking die on this hill. Isaiah Williams has better ball skills than Brian Thomas Jr. Isaiah might not be the best player for teams that throw a lot of go routes. Good fit for Detroit. Yeah, so to your point, Polar Bear, for long extended routes, it's just not his forte. But your intermediate routes, I guess you could say for the most part, your St. Brown routes, he's probably going to be, especially when he gets developed a little bit more, he's got a real possibility there. Ludell, what do you got? He's dependable. Catch percentage is excellent. Yeah, Isaiah Williams, yeah. And I'm going to guess the Lions see something with him, which is why they gave him such a good contract. All right, Bo, Yak King. Yes, Yak is king. Yes, I'll go with that. Kneecap biting. I love the Steel Chambers name. Sounds like a 70s. Yeah, yes, performer. We'll go with that. I would agree, by the way. Broski, Lions drafted quarterbacks because they're reacting to Bears draft. It could be, or it could be that, you look how we've played defense for the most part the last 2 years. This would be consistent with that. You want guys out there who can make that 1 or 2 extra play. You put them in position. You create some opportunities for them. It's just unfortunately some of the guys we've had in the past just couldn't hold on to the ball or whatever you want to say. So now, boom, you got hopefully somebody who can do that. Bo, Maryland come to mind. Fair enough. Let's see, Ludell, perfect for Goff, short passing game. Williams is like Branch, Cooks, Tank Dell to me. Yeah, I'd say there's a lot of similarities there. Kneecap, we drafted quarterbacks because it was our weakest room in the roster. I would also agree with that. Silver, good morning, coach, and everyone else. I looked at the film of the wide receivers. It had to, if I had to place a bet on who makes the team because of those players, I'd say Calhoun over Isaiah Williams. Could be. Jalen Calhoun, yeah, it could be. Kurt Steele, the infamous one. What up, though? What up, Kurt? Bo, morning, Kurt. Kneecap, don't like that kid named Lion from Williams and Mary has Raz of, yeah, he's very athletic. Yes, I saw his score and some of his tape. Hatman, good morning, Kurt. There you go. Dale, greetings from the Philippines. One heck of a draft. I was stumped on some picks, but happy overall. My wife still gets a kick of your woo. Once you do it, she follows. There you go. Well, hopefully she's following now, and hopefully having a good day there, Dale. Kurt, what's going on, fellas? Not too much, man. Just another day talking about the Detroit Lions there, Kurt. Kneecaps, let's see. Kurt Steele, what up, though? Kurt, what up, Jeremy? Doug, I'm listening. Fair enough. Let's see. Kneecap, still mentally recovering from the grind of the draft media room. All right. Dave Bates was missing everything yesterday. Yeah, the law of averages, right? Bo, what's for dessert, Kurt? There you go. Broski, they weighed Detroit, booed Caleb getting selected. You will live to regret that. Maybe, man. Maybe. We'll see what happens. All right, Doc, what do you got? New T-shirt idea, coach. You guys keep laying them on me. Anthony, morning. Did you get mine yesterday? I did. And thank you for that. I just don't normally like announcing who does what, but I did get your donation, so thank you for that. I'm sure Trey and his family will be very happy with that. So thank you, Anthony. And thanks all you do for the channel. Ed, time to get my due. Yes, I'm about T-minus 12 minutes away from going to the K. Kneecap, Broski Bear, enjoy yours. Okay, fair enough. Dale, Stempify, Mike the Marine, I am a corporal. Sure do miss the corpse. Yeah, I know a lot of people do, man. A lot of people do once they get out. Marcus, OJ lives. It is possible. He could be on the island with Jim Morrison, Tupac, and maybe Elvis. Michael, yes. Michael, thank you for that. Like I said, I knew there were a couple other ones that came in, but thank you so much for that. I'll make sure they get that. Ed, I heard Caleb say that they won't be punting a lot. I will be at the Lions/Bear game sitting right behind the Bears bench. That says live punter counter. All right, yeah, have the counter ready. Maybe point out to them every time they punt. That's just a helpful suggestion. Kurt, at Bo Booth, I'm rebranding my show, and it will return soon. Can't wait to see it, man. Let me know if there's anything you need from me to help you out, help promote it or anything. So say the word. Let's see. Mike, Summer 5, brother. There you go. Lions talk with the bad guy. Little late. I was watching your video with Mark Orm. Good stuff. Yeah, Mark's a good dude. Real good dude. And, hey, I know I'll be going on his show next, so return the favor. Anthony, Caleb is a bus, broski. What part don't you understand? Hey, you're talking about a USC guy there, but I hope he's a bust at least 2 times a year. That's every time Lions play the Bears. Ken, let's not forget that like button, folks. Yes, if you have the opportunity, please hit the thumbs up button. We've got just over 700 people watching, so if half of you guys hit that thumbs up button, I'm going to be pretty happy. Steve, Blue Steel, Defoe passed the eye test. Very good. Doc Carson, what do you got? A headshot of Arnold with the question, what you talking about, Coach? There you go. There you go. Doug, Arnold doesn't need to be cornerback one this year. We already stepped up our cornerback room in free agency. It's all about the contracts and depth this year and beyond. Yeah, so give him time to grow, mature, learn some things too, make the adjustments to the NFL game. I'm not saying he won't be on the field. I think he will be. Same with Rakestraw. It's just like we're all pointing out, you're going to have to earn it to get out there. We don't need the rookies in multiple different spots to come in and make it big impacts. We're going to be able to bring him along slowly if need be. Silver Server, I heard an interview, Giovanni Manu saying the Lions are going to put him at right guard next to Panay to begin learning. Nothing wrong with that, although Manu prefers left side. Well, let's see what happens, but make him very universal. Make him be able to play multiple spots. And I think we're noticing with almost all the draft picks, that's the case. We've even talked about with Arnold and Rakestraw, the fact that both guys have played safety and cornerback in college, probably doing that still here. Hey, Pickering Auto, wow. Thank you very much for that. So we will make sure Trey gets that. And again, guys, everybody who's helping out, I'm just going to say thanks. Thanks for Trey. All right, Dan would like to donate to this to his family that had the house fire. Thank you for all you do. Yeah, hey, thanks, guys. I'm sure they're going to be more than thankful. And again, is it going to give them back everything? No, but it's just one more thing to try to help out in the time of need. So, again, thanks, guys. Ed, I would like to have a discussion, Dan, about Caleb Williams, seeing how he portrays himself. I don't think if the Lions were the one picking number one, he'd end up a Lion. He seems like more of a me. You got to be careful here as a USC fan. I would say this. There's without question, he's a talented player. He's got a lot of potential. He's also a young guy. He's whatever he is, 22, I think. Don't hold me to that. I don't really remember off the top of my head. But he's got some maturity to do. He's, I would say, typical with a lot of kids of his age and this generation. There are some, I would say, social media effects that seem to be on him. Now, how much of that changes in the next 2 to 3 years when you start becoming an adult and start getting out of the house, so to speak? I guess that's the real question. I think if I'm the Bears, it made sense. I would normally say most quarterbacks have about a 50-50 chance of getting a second contract with their team. Caleb Williams has all the potential in the world. Whether or not he's one side of that 50% or the other side is a great debate. And I would say this, if the Lions would have been picking number one, I would say they probably would not have taken him, but that's because the Lions look for very specific personality traits. Caleb Williams does not have those. That doesn't mean he's good or bad. It doesn't mean he's right or wrong. He is just not consistent with 99% of the players the Lions draft. There's only one exception I can readily think of, and I'm going to leave that alone. I'm not going to go there. But out of all the drafted players that I rated or reviewed afterwards for the Detroit Lions, there's only one that doesn't meet certain criteria, and that one is done well. It's just I think he's taken him a little time to gel, and there's multiple reasons for that. Caleb actually mentioned his nails at the draft. He did, and hey, if that's what you're into, that's what you're into. Ed, type of player and not about the team. There you go, Broski. You name reference biting kneecaps and you're calling someone else. Your name says it all. You enjoy being on your knees. Did you see Caleb's girlfriend smoke show? I am aware of Caleb's girlfriend. Yeah, she's easy on the eyes. JP, very generous at Pickering Auto and Performance. Yeah, all of you guys that are making donations, thank you. It says it speaks volumes about you guys. All right, Ed and Dan and Brad said that you can have all the talent in the world and not end up on this team. Yeah, they're looking for I've said it already, they're looking for targeted players, people that are a certain way. That's what they want to build around. And I'm not saying one way is right or wrong. I think there's the Lions way It would be my opinion Caleb Williams does not fit that, but that doesn't mean he's not going to pan out. I think the Bears need to make sure they get him on offensive line, or he's probably going to be in trouble. So we'll just go with that. Ed, what do you got? There is a weakness, Dan, the edge opposite of Hutch. I get everybody wants more production out of that side. I just think the fact that they haven't gone after it more tells me the coaching staff thinks they may be better there than we anticipated. Doc, that should ring a bell if you are as old as we are, Coach. Yeah, I get where you're saying. Yeah, it did get one. Woo! By the way, Broski, Anthony, concerning he hasn't played a snap yet, that's a heck of a comment. Try again. Fair enough. Timothy, what up, though, Detroit 2024 or bust 100%? Timothy, I'll go with that. Anthony, she probably tosses the rock better than him. Could be. She could be an up-and-coming player. Kneecap biting. All right. Sneaky great undrafted free agent signing last night is Kingsley. Boy, I'm going to kill that last name. Florida guard. Who only played 8 games. If healthy, he would have been a late day 1 or 2 pick. Fair enough. I'll do a little bit more deep diving on that one. Pickering. JP, lost my shop to fire in 2016. It is a horrible experience that no one should have experienced. Yeah, so I want to say it was 2020, like right before the pandemic. I had a house fire. It wasn't anything egregious. Electrical box in the basement, lit up or whatever. It basically fried out. And, fire department came on over, put everything out. I went inside when they were done. I was like, I'm just going to be spending the weekend cleaning it up or whatever. Because, really, I didn't think there was anything structurally wrong. And they were, whoa. Yeah, you can't be in here, man. This is all got to be professionally cleaned and stuff like that. You can't be breathing this stuff in. So it sucked just for that little fire and all the smoke. I was out of the house for a year until they cleaned it all up. And again, some of that's because it was COVID and, everybody's in short supply. But all right, guys, enough of history of house fires and stuff like that, all that stuff. I got to get out of here. I try to push it as close to an hour as possible. I was going to try to get off the air a little early, but hey, it was a great show. A lot of the people contributing. I see there's a lot more comments that unfortunately I didn't have the time to get through. So yeah, Simone guys, yeah, man, it was 5. Yeah, I get it. So sorry I couldn't get through all of them today. If there's some breaking news later today, you guys know I'll get on the mic as fast as possible. If you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. We're about 40 subs away from 6,600. If you would be so kind, hit the thumbs up button. As you guys know, it helps the channel out a lot. If you guys need anything, get a hold of me. You know how to do it. So take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll see you all in the next Lions Talk Live. Take care, everybody.